Hi all and welcome back to a new video previewing day 4 of the Leopardstown Christmas Festival. It has been a very tough festival from a punting perspective. As I suspect a lot of you will know, it's been very tricky to find winners, and today was no different. Day 3, Apple's Jade, great to see her back at the top. I'll probably go over these things more in a review video, but it wasn't a brilliant race, I won't lie, so I don't know what the form of that was like. Delta Work was obviously very good. I thought Ken Boy was the horse to take out of the race, though he travelled well, probably too well, jumped not at his best and still ran a very good race, was still banged there. But we'll get into that in another video in due course. And for now, we're just going to pile on into tomorrow's action, and hopefully we can get a bit more luck on our side and get a few winners to close off the week, because it's been a tough one at that. Starting off with the Adair Manor Opportunity Handicap Chase, inevitably a very tough race. A very interesting one in this is one for the road, Tom, coming over. Harry Fry sent a couple of horses over this week. This one's a very interesting one, but he tends to jump poorly, which was seen at Cheltenham last time out. He could be a cut above these, but he wouldn't be for me. Instead, I'd be taking 2 plays at this one. Shanro LC for Carl Thornton. He's in here at 6-1. Kevin Bruder in the saddle. He was second behind Fairly Legal last time out, but Fairly Legal was thrown in. He'd won his previous 4 starts before that, so you'd be liking to hope that he can resume his progression here. 6-1 seems a fair price. And also Roxburgh Road here, won over course and distance in a beginner's chase last season with Mark Walsh on board for Ted Walsh. Simon Torrance takes the ride this time out. He's 8-1. He was running a much better race last time out when slipping up in a handicap chase, of which the form of that race has turned out to be okay in the long run. The maiden hurdle over 2-4 looks a very good race. The Mullins horses have been very hot and cold, some of them firing, some of them not firing, but I would be taking a chance on the big getaway here. He does have race fitness on his side. It seems the ones that don't have race fitness are getting beat, all of them, for Mullins, but he won a bumper at 2-9 at Punchestown last time out. The form of that isn't brilliant, but in the form of his runs, as a bumper horse last year of working out much better with Fury Road, 6-shooter, stuff like that. He was in amongst good competition there. He's 5-4 here. It's a tad short, but I reckon he will go quite well. The Mayor's Hurdle, the Grade 3 race, it looks a very one-way street, to be honest. Stormy Ireland is the pick here at 8-13. Well, I think she's the most likely winner, obviously. Whether you guys want to go in at 8-13 is really up to yourselves. Perhaps Eglantine de Soy in the without market. You might get a better price on her than Elfield. And I think she could beat Elfield, but that's up for debate, really. But Stormy Ireland does seem to be the safe play in this one. The Neville Hotel's Novice Chase Grade 1 over 3 miles. I wasn't at the start of the week, but I'm beginning to be convinced by Manila Indo here, just because of how good form Henry de Bromhead and Rachel Blackmore in. Mona Lee even ran an absolute stormer today in at the Savills Chase. This horse was second to Lorena. That form is obviously not working out well, but Lorena didn't run a race on Stephen's Day, let's be honest with ourselves. She isn't that bad. He ran a decent race that day. He looked to jump well. He just wasn't quick enough over 2-4 and didn't also look wound up, to be honest. 15-8. It's short for a horse and no experience, so I'd be pairing him in here with Carefully Selected at 6-1. If Carefully Selected could improve his jumping, I think he's got a bang each way shouting here, even though it's only 2 places. I think there's still scope for a lot of improvement, and he's my idea of the National Hunt Chase winner, I must confess. The Matheson Hurdle, the Grade 1, I'd be very much in Classical Dreams camp here. He is a short favourite, but I think he's well worth that, to be honest. I think he's still a cut above these. I'm a bit windy about Course of Climb. Charges in and out, Darasso, Petit Mouchoir, Aramon, Apple's Jade won't run. I just think the Classical Dream is the one here, and you'd be very disappointed if he couldn't collect. The 305 is another very tricky race, the novice handicap hurdle. I quite like the look here of Cavalry Master for Henry de Bromhead and Rachel Blackmore again, because they're just in such red hot form. He's at 4-1, 9-2 on some boards. I suppose for some of you that could be an each way play. For some of you it's just a win punt. But he won his maiden quite nicely last time out at Punchestown, beating Buddy Rich and Sizing Potsy. Fee Spirituel was in that race as well, so it's not a bad little race. And I think he'll go quite well on handicap debut. And also one of the price is Envious Editor at 8-1 for Jesse Harrington and Robbie Parr. They've always held this horse in quite high regard, and he hasn't quite fulfilled that, to be honest. He seems to have had his issues, but ran a nice race in a Navan maiden hurdle on his reappearance, coming fourth behind Longhouse Poet. I think that's pretty good form in the book. Opposites Attract, who was third in that race, won at Down Royal on Stephen's Day, so I think it's not bad form, and I think he'll go close at a nice enough price. And the bumper seems to be between the two, Eric Bloodaxe and Wide Receiver, both very impressive winners of their own bumpers, both for Gigginstown as well. I'll just be favouring at the prices here, Wide Receiver. He looked very good in Navan. He's probably... bumpers won't see him in the best light this year, but he's 7-4. Eric Bloodaxe is 8-13, and that form has taken a few hits this week. Fernie Hollow's gotten beaten today, and Ragnar Lodbrok got beaten yesterday as well. So the form of that just not quite looking quite as good as it did perhaps at the time. But he still obviously could be a very smart recruit. I think the two of them will be well clear, but just a small preference on Wide Receiver at the prices. If you did enjoy this video, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel down below. We've gained another couple of dozen subscribers over the past few days, which is brilliant. So the channel is continuing to grow, and hopefully you guys will see in due course that I do actually tip a few winners, unlike the last few days, which have been pretty lean, even for my standards. You can also follow me over on Twitter and Instagram as well for more kind of daily stuff, if you're in the mood for that as well. If you guys want to put down your selections for day 4, who do you think is going to win between Classical Dream and Core Sublime, or if they're going to be one from the outside? And the same for the Neville Hotel Novice Chase. It looks a very, very good race on paper, and I'd be very interested to hear your views on the matter. So until next time, which could well be maybe next week or the week after that, where I might be reviewing this and previewing some of the next big sort of races going on in England or Ireland. Best of luck, and hope you go well.